Hi, I'm Lauren McGregor, CEO and co-founder of CommissionCrowd. If you're a self-employed sales professional, someone who's always on the lookout for a high-value, reoccurring commission opportunity, pause your scroll. This one's for you. Today, I'm joined by Torey Thompson, the founder of LandGazer. They're a fast-growing drone mapping company helping US-based construction firms, architects, real estate pros, and civil engineers get precision 3D data faster and way more affordably than traditional surveying. We're talking 20 to 25% commission, deals starting at 2 grand and scaling all the way over to 6 figures. And of course, reoccurring revenue from long-term high usage clients. So here's what really caught my eye though. The tech is already proven. The market is booming. We're talking 75 billion in projected growth. So this is a future forward sales opportunity in a space that's very ready for disruption. So welcome. Let's get into it and find out what makes this even more powerful move for independent sales professionals. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining me, Tori.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for being a Commission Crowd client. Can you tell me just in one sentence, what does LandGazer do?
So LandGazer is a drone-powered mapping company that delivers high-accuracy 3D models and CAD-ready files to construction companies, engineering firms, and far more affordably than traditional surveying methods. And of course, low risk, because it's better for a drone to fly than a person to go in the road or in high places.
Oh, okay. And what kind of clients are you serving and what is the problem that you're solving?
The great thing about this company is that we're pretty much all encompassing. We can speak to surveyors, architects, contractors, civil engineers, and construction companies. Oftentimes they need to plan or build on sites, and instead of waiting weeks for traditional data and for large survey crews, we can bring one pilot, have a drone out there, fly it in all but 10, maybe 20 minutes maximum, and have that back to them in a matter of days.
So just kind of, how did you get into that?
So this is actually an interesting story because I come from a filmmaking background, an animation background specifically.
Really?
Visual effects, things of that nature. And my brother, who was in the army, had told me about LiDAR and photogrammetry. Now, I didn't know what these were, but then when he told me that these can be used for visual effects, I did a little more digging. And that's when I learned that it can be used for bridge inspections, building inspections, farmland inspections. It's very encompassing in what its use cases are. So for that regard,
Okay.
it can be used pretty much anywhere. And then I learned that there's a large community around this that's only very new and still growing very fast at it.
Yeah. Well, that's really great. And that was my next question. How big is the market and why now?
So the market is still very small, and it's only because drones are new. And drones can be, to some people, a little scary because it is a buzzing machine over your head. But if you think about it, it's just putting a camera or a laser scanner on an aircraft and just flying it around freely. It can do it faster than we can, more accurately than we can. Sometimes people have put LiDAR sensors on backpacks and will walk around different places, but instead of doing that, just have a drone do it for you. You can just sit there with your remote in your hand and move around. And so much
Wow.
so that the United States Department of the Treasury claims that it will grow by 75 billion by the end of 2025. And with everything moving right now, and with all the executive orders, that's definitely going to happen.
So interesting. Gosh. And how exciting to be at a time and a place when something is just like skyrocketing. I'm feeling that way about so many things in my commission crowd as well. With it, we're getting so many referrals from AI. There's so many things that are just booming in different directions, and it's so exciting to be part of that.
People want
Um,
technology to make their lives
yeah,
easier. You know, if we can
yeah,
make engineers' lives easier, construction companies' lives easier, surveyors' lives easier, why not? Why not provide that service that lets them take a little more time to actually focus on what matters?
definitely. Oh my goodness. So tell me, what kind of sales partners are you looking for?
So if you've got relationships in construction, engineering, real estate, or infrastructure, or you're just great at opening doors, we'll train you on every detail. You don't need to be a drone expert. You just need to know how to connect with decision makers. And I pride myself on being 100% accessible and always ready to train people on this because I've taught people how to map before. I taught people how to fly drones before. All of it is very, very simple, and you'll be surprised at how simple it is to grasp it.
Well, that's what I love to hear. I love to hear founders being like, yeah, I'm there to support win-win every time.
It is a team effort, and I think the best thing that somebody can have is knowing that they can speak to an expert immediately. I always keep a phone line open for any salespeople, any of my pilots, just in case, because if you have a question, why wouldn't I be there to answer it?
That's great. Tell me about a win that you're really proud of.
So it was actually my most recent one. There is a contract. We're based in California, and if you know about the fires that happened this past January, it did a lot of damage. And due to that damage, there was work required to inspect some of the power line poles, and this needs to be done very fast. We were contracted with a group of 8 other drone pilots and companies, and we went to the Altadena area. That's where we had to fly and gather 3D models and data for those poles. The quota was to do 100 a day. I did 500 a day. And I pride myself on just speed and efficiency because that saves companies so much money. And anybody out there who works in the professional realm, you know that no matter what level you go to, incompetency is an issue. Speed is an issue. And if things can just get done, you'd be surprised how much money you would save and how much you can actually accomplish.
And that's where all the referrals come from too. Exceed expectations every time. Love that. That's
I
great.
take a sort of competitive spirit to all this.
Good. Absolutely. So, what was that aha moment that you made to start LandGazer? I know you told me about sort of earlier how it all kind of came about, but did you have that? We always talk about the aha moment of the user journey. What was it for you?
So the aha moment for me was on a project where, and this was just a project where I asked the then job that I had, hey, can I bring my drone inside and fly around for a little bit? I didn't really know how it fully worked because it was still an enigma to me how you could fly a drone around in a pattern and it can make a 3D model from that. Because to my knowledge, making a 3D model is going in AutoCAD or Autodesk Maya and actually building it from the ground up. So I take the drone out and I just fly in a certain pattern and I program it to fly in a particular pattern. There's so many applications for that. And then when I actually saw what it created when it was done in about 30 minutes, that was my aha moment. Like, oh, so this can actually be useful. This actually works. I don't want to say it's like magic, but it was just crazy to see that by it doing that so quickly, it made something that would take me days to make by hand.
Right. Well, it always seems quite magical, doesn't it? You know, like how is this? How does
In
this?
a way, because it is
Yeah.
essentially a drone there speaking to a GPS and it's saying, "Oh, this is this far away from this. This is this far away from this," and these can bring actionable steps. And actually seeing it created in real time is always the craziest thing.
That is. Oh my goodness. And then of course being able to take that information and read it in some way and use it to do better. So that kind of brings me to my next question is like, is there a surprising way a client has used your data that you didn't really expect?
I think the most recent contract that I did where I saw that they were using we were basically contracted to get our drone and fly it around different power poles, right? Now that takes all but a couple seconds. You get one picture at the very top of it, you fly around it. And I saw what they were doing is they were using it to zoom in very close and inspect it and see where there were cracks, breaks, anything of that nature. But it was so detailed that you could see down to the numbers at the very bottom of the pole. And I think that's the craziest thing to me that you can see so much there and it just saves so much time, honestly.
Yeah. So how would they have done that before?
They would have somebody go out there and climb up a ladder or get on a crane, look at it, and then come back
Wow.
down and notate what the pole number was.
That's incredible. Gosh. I love that. I really appreciate that. I guess it sounds like it's really the kind of opportunity that it's, well, to me, it sounds like this is the kind of opportunity that maybe agents have been looking for. They've been waiting for the high commissions, the reoccurring income, a booming tech-driven market. And if so, go take a look at LandGazer on CommissionCrowd. I'll put the link in the description. And thank you so much, Tori. Really appreciate you sharing your story with us.
I appreciate you guys having me. I look forward to working with everybody.
Thanks. Bye for now.